Hi. In this video, we will look at how to work with the Konlen Thermostat via the Smart Life app. We will pay special attention to creating and setting up scenarios or scenes. Scenarios allow you to automate the operation of the thermostat by setting certain actions based on time, day of the week, or other parameters. When you look at the Konlen Thermostat screen, you will immediately see the current temperature in the heating system. This is displayed in the center part of the screen. At the top on the right-hand side is the manual mode button. This mode allows you to manually switch the boiler on or off. However, it is worth noting that the manual mode can only be activated if the current temperature is between the set on and off temperature. In our case, this is the range between 19.5 and 25 degrees. It is important to consider that the boiler will operate automatically by default. If the current temperature does not fall within the set range, for example, the current temperature is 21.5 and the set range is between 23 and 28 degrees, then the boiler will automatically switch on. In this situation, you will not be able to forcibly switch it off manually. To switch the boiler off, you will have to set the temperature lower than the current temperature. Also, you can find different language settings. There are many languages. For our convenience, we will use English. Creating customized scenarios. Konlen Thermostat, in combination with Smart Life app, gives you the possibility to create individual scenarios or scenes to control your electric boiler, especially if you have a multi-tariff electricity meter installed. We understand that for many of you, optimizing your heating costs comes first. With scripts, you can automatically set the boiler's operating hours to use the most favorable tariff. This not only reduces costs, but also simplifies the process of controlling the operation of the equipment. Go to the Scenes section. Choose to create a new scene and set the activation time, for example, 15 hours and 54 minutes. Now we have 15:52, 22nd October, Sunday. Set the temperature parameters for this time. Switch the boiler on at 47 degrees and switch it off at 50 degrees. Save and name the scene Daily. The app prompts us to run it. We choose Yes. After setting it up, we wait for the preset time, 15:54. When that time comes, the boiler will automatically switch on. In our case, this light will come on. Adding additional time points. Back to the daily scene. Create the next time point, for example, 15:56. Set the temperature deliberately lower than the current temperature so that the boiler switches off. Wait until the light bulb goes out. The boiler switches off. Set the boiler switch on temperature to 18.5 degrees and switch off, well, let's say 19 degrees. Save it. Waiting. The time is 15:56. So, as you can see, the boiler has switched off. Now, let me show you how to turn the boiler on. I'll show you that it will operate within the temperature range that you've set. Suppose it will switch on at 59 degrees and switch off at 61 degrees. Save it. Wait until it's 15:58. Here's how you see the boiler has switched on, and I'm heating the temperature sensor to simulate the boiler heating process. The boiler switches off as the temperature reaches the set point. This is thermal inertia. Continue adding as many time points as required to our daily scene, changing the parameters to suit your needs. This process allows you to create an infinite number of points to control the boiler each day. I don't know if there is a limit to the number of time points per scene, but you can easily add 10. In each time point, you can set your own temperature parameters for switching the boiler on and off. Let's add a new time point. Let's say we set the time to 16 hours and 1 minute. Let's set the temperature to 10.5 degrees on and 15 degrees off. Let's wait. But for some reason in this case, the time point didn't work. You can also switch the entire daily scene on or off as you see fit. And now the second option on creating time scenarios, we create a new scene. We've turned off the daily. Let's set the temperature to 59.5 on and 65.5 off, and we'll call this scene Monday. So, Monday looks like this. The boiler switches on at 16:07, heats to a temperature of 65 and 5 degrees. It switches off and cools down to a temperature of 59.5 degrees. Then we add a new scene, but here we're already making the temperature low. Now we edit our Monday and choose the run time. Here we can select a time period and days of the week. Well, for example, we have the time from 0 hours 0 minutes 23:59, but we choose all day, but only for Monday. We do the same with Tuesday. We leave the days of the week set to Tuesday only, in the same way we create Wednesday. So we have set Wednesday, but we have the boiler running from the previous set program from the previous set time point. While we were setting it up, we had the last temperature setting at 59.5 to 65.5 degrees. Today we have Sunday. Let's create Sunday and turn the other days of the week off. Let's see how that works. Let's set the time to 16 hours and 16 minutes and set the on temperature to 11 degrees and the off temperature to 15 degrees. And we select only Sunday. We wait until it's 16 hours and 16 minutes. It's 16 minutes past 5 and the boiler's switched off. I want to say about this section, schedule, as if it is on the main screen by default, but it somehow works incorrectly. I tested it, and I didn't like it. I mean, I still suggest that you create scenes with time points. What happens if you switch off all the scenes? Nothing happens. The boiler will run at the last set temperature. It will just run in normal manual mode. The normal set temperature that was last set, and that's it. You can change that temperature here too, and it won't affect the scenes. The temperature won't change until the command to change the temperature comes. Either you change it, or you switch on the scene, and there is a new day of the week with a new temperature segment and a new temperature. You can also create a scene here with a command from the ambient temperature, and I've set the boiler to switch on when the outside temperature drops below 12 degrees. And I tried well, for some reason my boiler didn't turn on. I set the temperature to 12 degrees, and when it dropped for some reason, nothing happened. All in all, of course, it's not great, but it's not as bad as it might seem. The thing is that you can always monitor the temperature on your phone and change something in the settings in case of anything. You can also always enable alarms and alerts when the temperature rises to some limits. Plus, you can add all sorts of safety features, let's call them that, to the boiler control system. I mean, there are all sorts of simple Wi-Fi switches that can be activated by just one tap on the phone. That is to open the boiler power supply circuit. Or even install some simple thermostat in parallel on which the on and off temperature will be obviously higher than on Konlen, for example, 90 degrees. And it will work when suddenly Konlen does not open the circuit. In general, there are several options if you want to maximize the safety of the boiler. How do I delete the scenes? We go here to Scenes. Here are all our created scenes. And on the left side, there are these blue circles. Click and delete what we don't need, and confirm at the end. And that's it. See you in the new videos.